Shalom, Israel. This is Brother Benaiah,
Brother Ananias.
and we're coming at you with another Friday night class topic. Right, tonight's topic is going to be on is the falling away / gathering of Israel, part 2. Right, but first of all, we want to give all praise, glory, and honor to the Most High God of Israel. Right, Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai being who the world calls Jesus. Right, so we always want to give all praise to the Lord for allowing us to do these videos, to stay in this truth, to keep pushing, to stay awake, because a lot of our people feel like they're woke, but they often Black Lives Matter, or they often idolatry. You know, that ain't being woke is being in the truth. Right? That's what's being woke is. But first let's go to Daniel chapter 1. Right. So tonight's topic, is still going to the falling away of Israel. Right. In part 1, we went over that Israel would fall away. Right. They had to fall away, and then the wicked man would be revealed. Right. But we dealing with the falling away of the Israelites, the Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. How did they get to the position that they're in today? How did they fall to the bottom? Why aren't they on the top when they God's chosen people? These are questions we have to ask ourselves, and um, we have to dive into it, look at the history, and see, search for our fathers. Right. So give me that in Daniel chapter 1 and verse 1.
All right. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 1, verse 1. In the third year of the reign, Joachim, king of Judah, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem and besieged it.
So this is just an example, right? So King Nebuchadnezzar, he sieged Babylon. He took over Jerusalem, right? The Israelites. So jump to verse 6 for me real quick, brother.
All right. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 1, verse 6. Now among these were the children of Judah, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah.
Keep reading.
And unto whom the prince of the eunuchs gave names, for he gave unto Daniel the name Belteshazzar, and to Hananiah of Shadrach, and to Mishael of Meshach, and of Azariah of Abednego.
So showing you that when we went into captivity, they started changing our names. Just like now, you don't have your own last name, right? You have your last name Jackson, Wilson, all right? You have all kind of different names. Give me another name, brother. Jackson,
Johnson, Brown, Hill.
Right? These are not our last names. These are the last names of our oppressors, right? We took on their names after we went into captivity. But I'm just giving you an example as to that's what they would do to us once they put us in captivity. Now, give me the book of Deuteronomy 28 and verse 45, right? Deuteronomy 28 and verse 45. And we mainly going into the northern kingdom tonight, right? Because last time we went over the southern kingdom, right? How the southern kingdom they fell away, right? In 70 AD they fled through the wilderness, right? We went over them being the Moors, right? From 70, I think it's like 711 AD until 1492, right? Then that's when the so-called black man we fell off, right? We used to rule Russia, Spain, Portugal. We used to rule all those places, but now we fell off, and now we over here shooting each other up over music, right? Can you read that real quick, brother?
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 45. Is that what you want at 45?
Yes, sir.
All right. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee.
So because we didn't keep the commandments, because the Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the Israelites, they didn't keep the commandments, the Lord put curses upon these people, right? Keep reading.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So in verse 46, it tells you that these curses will be upon our people for a sign. For a sign. A sign shows you and identifies what the item is, what the location is, and hey, who the people are. So the Lord gave you signs showing you who the Israelites would be in these last days. So anybody who fits these curses, they would be the actual Israelites, right? That's how we know who we are according to the Bible, right? Give me Second Ezra chapter 13. Well, give me Ezra chapter 9 and verse 7, right? Because like I said last time in the first video, we did a video. Brother Baruch did a video on what was it? Who are the Gentiles?
Mm-hmm.
So he did a video on who are the Gentiles. Google that in or type that in on the YouTube page and go back and watch that class to get further
Edified.
edified. Thank you, brother. Further edified on that type of history, right?
All right. This is the book of Ezra, chapter 9, verse 7. Since the days of our fathers have we been in a great trespass unto this day, and for our iniquities have we, our kings and our priests, been delivered into the hand of the kings of the lands, to the sword, to captivity, and to a spoil, and to confusion of face as it is this day.
So our people, starting from Adam. Adam was a dark-skinned man, all the way down until you get to Esau, right? Then came the so-called white man in Genesis 25 and 25. Then after that, you had Jacob. He still came out regular, and the 12 tribes of Israel were dark-skinned people, right? But through mixing and mingling, you had the northern kingdom who was deep off in idolatry. They mix and mingle with the other nations, and they lost some of their genotypes, their skin tone. They lost some of that, their heritage, by mixing and mingling with these other nations, right? Read that again, brother.
All right. This is the book of Ezra, chapter 9, verse 7. Since the days of our fathers have we been in a great trespass unto this day, and for our iniquities have we, our kings and our priests, been delivered into the hands of the kings of the lands, and the sword, to captivity, and to a spoil, and to a confusion of face as it is this day.
That confusion of face, hey, some of the Israelites don't look like Israelites anymore, right? They look like some of them look like heathen. Some of them could look like a whole entire another nation. That's what we ask our people, or we ask the people on the streets, hey, what's your nationality? What's your ethnicity? Because all Israel are not of Israel. And then also it's the spirit that bears witness, right? So let me go to the book of Hosea, chapter 7 and verse 8, right? The book of Hosea, chapter 7 and verse 8, right? Showing you that Ephraim, right, the northern kingdom, they mixed with the other people of the lands. They were heavy in idolatry, right? Give me that real quick, brother.
All right. This is the book of Hosea, chapter 7 and verse 8. And it reads, Ephraim, he have mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned.
So Ephraim is the head tribe of the northern kingdom, but it's really talking about the northern kingdom right here as a whole. Ephraim has mixed himself among the people, meaning the other nations. Once he mixed himself among those people, he started to take on their genotypes and their some of their skin tones, right? So it says Ephraim is like a cake not turned. Like it's talking about like a pancake. When you cook a pancake, right, the bottom of it, once it heats up, hey, the bottom is dark, but the top side is still light. So Ephraim is light and dark skinned people, right? This is why we can't judge off of skin color because hey, the white man taught you to do that, man. So we have to do away with the ways of this world and come back to the knowledge of our true God. The Lord told us to declare our pedigrees by the house of our fathers, according to Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18. So we have to obey God rather than men, right? Give me the book of Revelation chapter 7 and verse 11, right? And then we're going to dive into a little history, go into a few different books just to prove that the actual Hispanics and Native Americans are the actual Israelites according to the Bible, right?
Revelation 7:11.
7:11, yes, sir.
All right. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 11. And all the angels stood round about the throne and about the elders and the four beasts, and fell before the throne on their faces and worshiped God,
So there were elders up there. Keep reading.
saying, Amen. Blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving and honor and power and might be unto our God forever and ever.
And
Amen.
this is going into the kingdom of heaven, right? Keep reading.
Verse 13. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, what are these which are arrayed in white robes, and whence came they?
So one of the elders asked, who are these people? Right? Because these don't look like the Israelites that I saw back in my day. That's what he's saying. They look different. So he's asking, who are these people? Right? This is after the tribulation. This is after we get resurrected, and after the resurrection, after we get into the wilderness and we get into the kingdom of heaven, and he's looking at us like, who are these people dressed in white robes? Who are these Israelites? They look different. That's basically what he's going into. Give me Esther chapter 2 and verse 5. Give me the book of Esther chapter 2 and verse 5.
Right.
Showing you that, hey, some of the Israelites, they look different now. Everybody is not the same no more. Hey, you even look at the so-called black man. We're not, just imagine us living in Africa, man, or where the sun is out constantly. Hey, we go to Florida for 2 weeks or 1 week, and we come back 5 shades darker, you know? So a lot of us, hey, we got a little lighter too over here. Hey, through mixing and mingling, right? Hey, we got light skin, you got team light skin versus dark skin now. Like, where did all that come from? Right? Give me that real quick, bro.
All right. This is the book of Esther, chapter 2, verse 5. Now in Shushan, the palace, there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shimi, the son of Kish, a Benjamite, who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity, which had been carried away with Jeconiah, king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away. And he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother, and the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her father and mother were dead, took for her for his own daughter.
So Mordecai took his niece as his own daughter, right? And we're talking about Esther right now. Keep reading.
So it came to pass when the king's commandment and his decree was heard, and when many maidens were gathered together in Shushan unto Shushan, the palace, to the custody of Haggai, that Esther was brought also unto the king's house to the custody of Haggai, keeper of the women.
All right, so we're gonna jump to verse 10. So Esther is the niece of Mordecai, right? Esther is a Benjamite. She was from the tribe of Benjamin, right? So Benjamin today, they would be the so-called Jamaicans, right? They would be the so-called Jamaicans. Read on that in verse 10.
Esther chapter 2, verse 10. Esther had not showed her people nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it.
So Esther, she didn't show her people, meaning she didn't look like she was a so-called Jamaican. She didn't look like she was from the tribe of Benjamin. So Mordecai told her, hey, don't tell them your nationality. Just another point proving some of our people, they don't look like us. Some of our people have gotten lost as far as the features, right? They've gotten lost and mixed and mingled with the other people, right? But their spirit still is bearing witness, right? Give me Second Ezra chapter 13 and verse 40, real quick. So now we're gonna get into the history. I know that was a little long explanation to get to the point, but now we get into the Northern Kingdom, right? So the Northern Kingdom are the so-called Native Americans. Native Americans touched down in what we call America first, right? But we want to know, how did they even get here, right? So if they came first, that means it was nobody over here at that time anyway, right? So if they got over here first, where did they even come from? All right, give me that real quick.
All right. This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 13, verse 40. And it reads, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Oshea, the king, whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
So during the captivity, during the Assyrian captivity, they decided the northern kingdom, they would go into a land which no man never dwelt, right? That land would be today, is going to explain a little bit more, but it would be called today America, right? So they left their captivity and they say they're gonna keep their statutes and the commandments which they never kept in their own land, and they're gonna go into a new land to keep these commandments. Right? Think about you, Jake. Right? When you want to go into say you live in a city, right? All your life you've been doing wickedness, you've been hustling in the streets, you probably got into a couple of shootouts. Now you want to change your life, right? Guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna move to a whole nother city. You're gonna go, hey, you might go to another country. So they were doing wickedness all of their life. They decided that, hey, you know what? We're gonna start it over. We're gonna start over again, and we're gonna go to a whole nother land, and there we're gonna keep the commandments. It's gonna be a fresh start for us, right? Keep reading.
Verse 42, that they might there keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river.
So they enter into Euphrates. Euphrates, that's on the east side of Africa. It's over there by Arabia. So they enter into the Euphrates River, right? Keep reading.
For the Most High then showed signs for them, and hell stood the flood till they were passed over.
So they came from the Euphrates River all the way over to America. And the Lord held still the flood, meaning He held still the waters, and they weren't rough. It wasn't hurricanes going on. It was smooth sailing all the way across. Can you read?
Verse 45. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called Arsareth.
So this land was called Arzareth, but today it's called America. All right. So keep reading.
Then dwelt they there unto the latter time, and now when they shall begin to come.
Right. And they dwelt there till now, you know. But hey, these were 10 tribes that were carried away captive. And then these 10 tribes, they decided to go into another land. You know how many millions of people that is? Right. Hey, you got 12 tribes of Israel. That's damn near everybody. Right. That's damn near everybody. You know. Now we're gonna hop into a book, but that's pretty much everybody, man. So it was a lot of people that came over here during those times. All right. Now we're gonna hop into this book called Everything That You Need to Know About Latino History. Right. So brothers, check this book out, you know, and we're gonna show a little history of the so-called natives. All right. Bear with me for a minute. All right. Can you see this, brother?
Let's see. All right. Where you want me to start it?
Start at the top.
All right. What did Columbus first lay eyes on when he reached America? All in all, Christopher Columbus made 4 voyages to the New World. In his first foray into the Americas, he made landfall on the island of the Bahamas on October 12, 1492.
Everybody's familiar with that day, 1492. But hey, and we know Columbus, he didn't discover the New World. Hey, he just so happened to land there, man. But that's a lot of history to go into, but it's a little bit deeper than that. All right. Can you read?
Columbus christened the island San Salvador. This was the first of the thousands of names the Spanish gave the New World. from Amarillo, Texas to San Diego, California, in an effort to claim the land for all time. Some days later, Columbus sailed from San Salvador to Cuba, and delegations from his ship went ashore to seek the court of the Emperor of China and demand gold. In December, Columbus journeyed east to Hispaniola, present-day Haiti, and the Dominican Republic. He sent 39 of his men ashore to remain on the island while he sailed back to Spain to tell the queen of his remarkable discoveries. When Columbus returned to Hispaniola, he found that his men had been killed for looting the native settlements and raping the women. This event marked the beginning of a tumultuous relationship between the Spanish and the native people scattered across the Caribbean, Mexico, Central America, South America, and North America.
So this is going into a little history about who they call Christopher Columbus, right? When he came over here, he first discovered the Bahamas. But when the natives came over here, just like we read in Second Esdras, they came to this new world. Some of those islands were a part of that new world as well. No man dwelt in Puerto Rico, Bahamas, all these different islands. That was a part of the new world, right? And when you go into the history, those are some of the first places they came across. So some people stayed there, and some people kept going until they reached North and South America, right? Let's see. Hold on, brother. Let me. Talk for a minute, brother.
All right. So what we're going into is the history concerning the 10 tribes tonight. And tonight's class, once again, is called The Falling Away and the Gathering of Israel, Part 2. So we're going to give the other side of the coin, or the history, small glimpse into the history of the 10 tribes of the Northern Kingdom, which would consist of so-called Hispanics and Native American Indians, who were what most of us would call today the Aborigines, the ones who were already here in the Americas, you know. So we're going to give a small history.
All right, all right. So share my screen again. Okay. All right. Can you read this for me, brother?
Blow it up some more.
So this is page 21. This is page 21.
All right. So who were the native peoples Columbus encountered in the Americas? The native people who first greeted Columbus and his alien looking crew when they made landfall in the Bahamas were the Arawak.
Yeah.
I might have said that wrong.
That's right.
Who inhabited not only the Caribbean but also South America. The Arawakan groups living in the Greater Antilles were the Taino and
Semboni.
Okay, I'm sounding French over here.
It's all good.
Semboni is not known how many Taino tongue twisted. Taino and Semboni inhabited the Caribbean islands at the time of Columbus' arrival. But judging from the records of Friar Bartolome de la Casa, the first ordained Roman Catholic priest to travel to the New World, an estimated 30 to 50,000 Taino called the Caribbean home in 1492. The Taino and the Semboni enjoyed a highly developed social and economic system based on farming and fishing. They were peaceful and disciplined peoples who carried out elaborate harvest ceremonies and held naturalistic beliefs in the bush spirits that foretold the coming of messiahs.
So now we're gonna start right here. So now, give me the book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 21. Right, the book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 21. Going back up, it says the Taino and the Semboni enjoyed a highly developed social and economic system based on farming and fishing. They were peaceful and disciplined peoples. So our people, they always been peaceful people and disciplined, meaning, hey, they kept the laws of God, right? Who carry out elaborate harvest ceremonies. That's going into our feast days, man,
That's right.
right? And held naturalistic beliefs in bush spirits that foretold the coming of messiahs, right? Now, let me get that in Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 21 and see why they told about the comings of the messiahs, right? With an S on it.
All right. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 21. And saviors,
And what?
and saviors
With an S, read.
shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's.
So that's the messiahs that they were talking about. The word messiah means a savior, right? And it's going into that's going into the 144K that would bring our people up under Christ, right? And liberate us from this captivity, right? Keep reading.
Right.
Just a short time.
Just a short time before Spanish conquistadors reached the Caribbean, the Carib, fierce native warriors had driven the Awawak off the Lesser Antilles. The Spanish subdued the Carib, forcing them to convert to Catholicism and adopt,
Catholicism. That's
yeah,
right. That's right.
and adopt Spanish ways along the Antillean Awawak. Hundreds perished from overwork at the hands of the Spanish and from the diseases the Europeans brought with them, for which the native peoples had no immunological defenses. The Taino, Siboney, and the Carib are the ancestors of many.
Right. So this is going into they would always bring Catholicism, meaning, hey, they brought Catholic with them, right? Which would be going into uh false religions, false doctrines, right? Going into Christianity. This is what they always would bring when they come and conquer lands. First, they come with their priests, right? Their so-called pastors, right? Teaching peace, sweet love, and all love for one. And then they come right behind that with a sword to kill you, right? And make you bow down to white Jesus, right? So now I'm gonna go to this is page 55. I'll read this real quick. All right, page 55. How did the Spanish rule in Mexico? All right, how did the Spanish rule in Mexico? So the Mexicans, these are the Issacharites, right? The tribe of Issachar. These are actually the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. They're a part of it. Right? But a lot of our people think when they come over here, they're the aliens. No, the natives, the Mexicans, the so-called Mexicans, they had this land before they even came over here. So the Europeans and the Spaniards who come over here, they're the actual aliens, man. They're the foreigners,
That's right.
right? They came and got this land by wickedness and deceit, man. They didn't win it by wars. They made hundreds of treaties with these people and they turned their back on them, man. Right? Hey, they made false deals, man. Right. So this is how did the Spanish rule in Mexico with two goals in mind to Christianize the heathens, right? And this is what they try to call us. They try to call us the heathens, right?
Mm.
They tried to Christianize the heathens, meaning they put them in false religions and false doctrine under Christianity. Well, hey, we can prove Christianity is wrong all day, right? Christianize the heathens of the new world and fill Spain's coffers with the gold and more gold. The Spanish conquistadors, right? These are Spanish speaking white men. The Spanish conquistadors and the early colonists, aided by the armies of missionaries, imposed Catholicism on the native peoples from the very start. In fact, Catholic friars accompanied Cortez's expedition. The Spanish confiscated confiscated the native people's gold, often telling them that the Spaniards suffered from strange disease that only gold could cure. And this is what they tell you today, right? Money cures everything. Money makes everything better. This is what America teaches you, whether it be directly or indirectly, right? They also put the Amerindians to work mining for gold and later silver. This was their chief occupation at the beginning of the conquest. Later, they would be put to work cultivating the land, supplying the colonists with exquisite foods, beautiful women, and comfortable lodging built in the Spanish style, right? So let me I'm gonna look at something real quick. Go to this little article, right? And religions in Mexico. Okay. So religion in Mexico, right? It says, now we just read about Catholicism and Catholic Christianity is the dominant religion in Mexico, representing about 82.7% of the total population as of 2010, right? And they really did a number on our people, man. Right? This is why you see all of the, well, not all of, but the majority of the so-called Mexicans, hey, they worshiping Mother Mary, right? They got rosary beads around their neck,
Mm-hmm.
right? They got the little images with the little bracelets on, and they bound down to Jesus Cristo, man. They have really done the number on our people, you know. So let me go back to,
I'll be right back, bro.
okay. I'm gonna go back to the book. All right, bear with me for a moment. Bear with me for a moment. Let's see where is it. Page 21, page 55. Okay, so now I'm gonna read this. Why do Puerto Ricans call their island Boricuan? So some people, yeah, you might have heard, but the Boricua or the Boricuan, right? This is what they call themselves, right? Boricuan, which means the land of the brave Lord, is the name that is the name the Taino, the indigenous inhabitants of the island, gave Puerto Rico. Taino, by the way, was not what they called themselves before Spanish conquest. Christopher Columbus christened this group of the Arawak Indians, Taino meaning peace, right? And when you go into the history, the first thing they said was peace, right? It's the first thing that Israelites say when we see each other. We say shalom, we say peace, right? These were peaceful people, and it would always be about peace. So that was one of the first words they said, and he took that word and put it upon them as the name of that people, because it was first word, because it was the first word they uttered when they laid eyes on the conquistador. The Taino were peaceful people indeed. They fished, hunted, and gathered berries, pineapples, and other fruits in their land of plenty. They slept in hammocks, the word that entered the English language as hammock.
Hmm.
So too did Hurricane, the god of ferocious winds, whom the Taino understood no one would ever tame. Give me the book of Nahum, chapter 1 and verse 3. All right. Book of Nahum, chapter 1 and verse 3. All right. It said, I'm gonna read that again. It says, so did the hurricane, the god of ferocious winds, whom the Taino understood no one would ever tame. And you can't tame the Most High.
That's right.
You can't tame the Most High. You can't go up and persuade the Most High and tell him, hey, you know what? I'm kind of falling short on this commandment. You know what? Can I just kind of put this off? You can't persuade the Most High. All right? Give me that real quick.
This is the book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 3. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord have his way in the whirlwind,
And the what?
in the whirlwind, and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet.
So, hey, the natives, they are understood, hey, this was the working of the Most High. All right? This was a part of their heritage. They knew the Lord had his way in the whirlwinds, right? That's why they said the God of fiercest wind, whom the Taino understood no one would ever tame. And it says, can you read that last part, brother?
Incidentally, Boriqua from Boriquin is what
Yep. You got it. You got it.
Is what Puerto Ricans call each other, especially on the U.S. mainland, to reinforce ties and reaffirm ancient roots.
Right. And that's what they call each other, Boricuan or Boricua. Right. But hey, you should be calling yourself an Israelites.
That's right.
Right. That's what you should be calling yourself. Right. So I'm gonna read this real quick. All right, so now we kind of getting into the history of the African slaves, who they call now the African Americans, and the people of Puerto Rico, who would be the Ephraimites, the Northern Kingdom. The Taino welcomed the Spanish conquistadors with open arms, believing them to be gods. And our people today, they think they gods now, man. You think the so-called white man is a god, right? You love his Google, you love his science, you love everything he does, you love how he dresses, you love the way he talks. Hey, you can't get enough of the white man, man. Our people are infatuated with loving the so-called white man. This is why they ever learn in the Bible, ever learning the truth about who they are, and can't never come into it. Because you love this damn world, this damn white man so much, who beat it into you to love him, and now you just can't let it go. Israel is like the woman who cannot let the man go, who always beating on her.
Damn.
Right? He beating you up every day, and you love it. Right? The Spanish begun their quest for gold by enslaving the native people and taking their lands. In exchange for mining the small deposits of placer gold found on the island and tending the fields to feed the conquistadors, the Taino were given lessons in Catholicism and Spanish history and culture. So this is what they do to you today, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They give you religion, and they teach you about their history and their culture, the wars that they won. They don't teach you about the wars you won. They don't teach you about how you ruled Spain, Russia, Portugal. They don't teach you about the so-called Dark Ages.
Bring it out.
They teach you about when Martin Luther King got punched in the mouth. They teach you about when they sprayed our people down with water hoses. That's what they teach you. That's what they want you to see. Them whooping your ass. Right? The Taino were given lessons in Catholicism and Spanish history and culture. And this is Black History Month, so-called. Some of our people, they only celebrate Black history for 1 month, and then the rest of the week, year, they go back to sleep. You wake up, you go in hibernation for 11 months, and you wake up for 1 month, or damn half a month, because half of the month you preparing for Valentine's Day. Right? So hey, it's time for our people to wake the hell up, man. It's time for you to come back to your religion, your nationality, and your heritage, man. And get out of these false religions and false doctrines, man. Catholicism. Learning about the so-called white man all the time, every day. Picking out who's your favorite. You having arguments at work about who your favorite president is. Right? Hundreds of Taino died in exhaustion, malnutrition, and mistreatment.
Still, hey, let me ask him right quick, bro.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother.
Just to go with what you just said. It's supposed to be Black History Month, right? Now at the job, you know, they try to put information about Black history in the little pass down for the announcements. You know what I'm saying? Saying this person did this at this company. This person is a pioneer, so to speak. But I'm walking around in the damn cafeteria. They got damn Moab and Ammon decorations all in the cafeteria. They got the little lampshade balls hanging from the roof. They got the Chinese writing all on the wall. They got the oranges and everything. I'm like, I thought this was our month. Supposedly. You got damn Moab and Ammon on the wall.
Damn.
I'm like, come on, man.
Hey, and this is what they think about you, man.
Yeah.
They put, don't they got a leap year in damn February, man?
You got the Oscars, the damn NBA All-Star game. You got the Super Bowl. All these things
Wow.
in February to distract us from
It,
a little bit of history that they give us.
that everything is here to distract us. And it's the month where you see people, you know, we think we Africans, but you see the Kenya type prints, like the little African hats, African clothing. Our people get bold around this time, man. And they go right back to sleep in March, right when they get them damn ink contacts.
I ain't even throw in Valentine's Day. Dang. That's crazy.
So, man, our people, man, we got to wake up, man. Let me see. All right. So I'm going to go back to this book. It says, in exchange for mining the small deposits of placer gold found on the islands and tending the fields to feed the conquistadors, the Taino were given lessons in Catholicism and Spanish history and culture. Hundreds of the Taino died of exhaustion, malnutrition, and mistreatment. Still others perished because they had no defenses against the European diseases of the Spanish soldiers. I'm sorry, no defenses against the European diseases the Spanish soldiers brought with them. And they literally brought these diseases just to kill our people.
Mm-hmm.
Some of, you know, of course, they had diseases upon them. Hey, they were dirty people, but they literally brought these diseases, put them in blankets, and gave them to your people. Just like they put pestilences in your neighborhoods now.
Mm-hmm.
Just like now they want you to get the jab. These people created pestilences, right? If brothers understand what I'm saying, these people created diseases, and now they want you to get a jab, right? All throughout history and civilization, they've been doing wickedness, man. In desperation, the Taino rebelled in 1511. After their pleas for better working conditions went unanswered, Ponce de Leon responded by having 6,000 Taino shot on the spot.
What? Wow.
Those who survived the slaughter took to the mountains or rowed away to other islands.
Wow.
Ponce de Leon was in. Can you read the rest of that, brother?
All right. Ponce de Leon was in a predicament. He needed laborers badly to keep Puerto Rico running smoothly. His solution was to ask King Ferdinand, King Ferdinand, keep that in mind, that name, that story that they used to read to the kids,
right,
for permission to bring African slaves to the island. In 1513, the first shipload of Africans arrived. With them also came smallpox.
So, and on this, they saying with them also came smallpox. Who did they get the smallpox from?
All right.
They got it from these damn wicked Edomites, man. That's who they got the smallpox from. So yeah, some of our people, they got sick on the boat. And guess what? They threw you off. They even got historical records where they got you got sharks that swim in the same route in the same passage that the boats used to swim in, from bodies being thrown overboard. You got sharks still waiting at the bottom of the ocean, thinking they're gonna throw people off.
Dang.
They tell that the sharks have told their ancestors and their offspring, hey, this is where the food is. This is where you come to eat. Because these damn wicked Edomites was throwing you off the boat, man. Hey, if you got sick, if you died, hey, they threw your body off. You got fed to the beast of the earth. Can you read?
All right. Which took thousands of Taino lives. By 1515, fewer than 4,000 Taino remained in Puerto Rico, compared to the 30 or 40,000 Columbus had found. Having given up on gold, Ponce de Leon decided to transform the island into an agricultural paradise. In 1515, he introduced sugarcane.
So sugarcane is big in Puerto Rico, right? I've said it in the last video, but if you look up, when you get a chance, do the research on Domino's sugar that actually started in slavery. Can you read?
And the Spanish government funded the building of sugar mills by the dozens. The African slaves and the few remaining Taino were put to work cultivating and harvesting. Cultivating and harvesting the crop by hand from dawn till dusk until the hot tropical sun. The Africans proved sturdiest of all, and their population increased, while the Spanish and native population dwindled. By 1531, the Spanish numbered 426 in Puerto Rico, and the Africans 2,264.
All right. So now I'm going to go to book of Deuteronomy, right? It says the African, all right, it says, I'm going to start off right here where my mouse is. It says the African slaves and the few remaining Taino were put to work cultivating and harvesting the crop by hand from dawn till dusk under the hot tropical sun. So the Native Americans and the so-called African slaves were put to work together in the field from morning to damn evening, working in the field for these so-called white men, working in the field for Esau. Give me the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 65. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 65. Some of our people, and we still working 12-hour jobs, man.
Mm-hmm.
Still working 12 hours a day. They wearing you out, man. You know, because hey, we in captivity, man. Our people are in captivity. We're the last hired, first fired, right? We're given the worst jobs. We get the worst schools. We don't have any education, no good education, right? Hey, we don't even know who we are. Because the true education comes from the wisdom of the Lord.
That's right.
That's where it comes from. That's why our people lost, man. That's why we can't strive and progress and do the things that we're supposed to do, man. Because we don't have the laws of God. First of all, we falling behind the damn white man who give you the poor schools, who give you the crumbs, right? Go look at their schools, man. Go see how they living over there, man. They not living how we live. Hey, we the ones going through the curses. We in hell and they're in heaven right now. Give me that real quick in Deuteronomy.
This Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy feet have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart and a failing of eyes and sorrow of mind.
So, hey, just like we read earlier, right? We read earlier, hey, the Africans, so-called Africans and the Native Americans, hey, they were put to work in the field. And the Lord told us these curses would be upon us for a sign. It said among these nations, hey, we wouldn't have no ease, man. And our feet don't have no rest. Right? Our feet don't have no rest. You got a lot of brothers, hey, they go out to the streets and they tired as hell before they even go out there, man. From working all week for the damn white man.
That's right.
You know, hey, our feet don't have rest. But guess what? We got to keep pushing in this work, man. Right? Read verse 66.
Thy life shall for thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life.
It says our life gonna hang in doubt, man. And we're not gonna have no assurance of our life. Man, hey, you're not gonna, just like now, you don't know, hey, the so-called black man, Native American, hey, they don't know when they're gonna die, man. You might just be riding down the street, and you got people getting into a shootout over red and blue.
God.
Hey, let me piggyback off that right quick.
Go ahead, brother.
When you actually go back into the scriptures, just like this script said, it said you would not have no assurance of your life. Like the brother said, you wouldn't know when you would die. When you read the scriptures, our forefathers knew when they were going to die. Abraham, he pulled his people to the side and let them know, he get his house in order and let them know this is the blessing, this is what's going to happen, this is what I want you to do. Isaac did that. Jacob did that. Think about it. Our forefathers knew when they were getting ready to pass. It wasn't no shock. They knew when it was coming. They would gather everybody together, and then set their houses in order, and then give up the ghost. But it's back on you, bro.
All right, keep reading on the verse 67.
In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even, and at evening thou shalt say, would God it were morning.
Hey,
For the
just like our people now. When you go to work, you like, man, I can't wait to get off, man.
right.
I can't wait to get off work, man. As soon as you don't even clock in yet, you ready to get off. Our people, hey, we weekend warriors, man. Because our people work all week just to live it up for the weekend, knowing you got to go in and bust your butt for the so-called white man. And you got so much mental stress, so much animosity upon you, and you just go out and spend all your money and blow it all at the club.
Bring it out.
That's what our people have done. Hey, and we gotta refrain from doing that. Hey, you got brothers on this call, hey, me included and myself. I used to do those type of things. I was a weekend warrior, man. Living it up for the weekend, spending $300-400 on the weekend, $500. And knowing I had to try to get food for Monday, man. Now I gotta ask to borrow some damn money because I don't know. I'm not right in my mind. You know, right. Hey, this is what we got to get right in our mind, man. We gotta put things in order. You know, you got to get our life right, man. We got to walk in the ways of the Most High. And when you walk in order under the Most High, guess what? Everything else is gonna be added unto you. How to maneuver in this walk, how to maneuver in this society. Those things are gonna be added unto you. Once you keep the commandments, that's how you really be prosperous. And this land here is vanity anyway, man. You know, because all we should be looking for is the kingdom of heaven. Not saying that you should just throw all your savings away. Not saying that. We saying, hey, you should be striving for that. Don't focus on this world. This world here to take you out. This world is here to make you go against the Most High. You know, give me the book of Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 3. Book of Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 3.
This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 3, and it reads.
You know what? I do apologize. Hold that. I'm gonna read one more article and then we're gonna get that. All right. So this is page 136. I'll read it real quick. It says, before long, land was parceled out to Spaniards who wished to settle in Puerto Rico. So when it says parceled out, meaning it was given to them. It was a handout. They tell the so-called black man, don't look for handouts, man. This whole land was given to you as a handout. And we worked for you. You didn't do no hard work. You didn't put no work in. You went out there pulling down the till and planting seeds. You didn't do none of that. Your forefather, hey, you Edomites, your forefathers are nothing, man.
That's right.
That's right.
Your forefathers, hey, they ain't no real hard workers, man. Even now, they don't work hard. They just use a whole bunch of damn tools and inventions that they have. They don't know how to put in no work. Right?
Oh.
Each settler who agreed to farm the land, or more accurately put, to oversee the slaves who farmed the land, and to stay more than 5 years, was granted between 200 and 1,400 acres. So, hey, they got given 200 and 1,400 acres. You go Google how much 1,400 acres cost right now. Go Google, hey, how much an acre of land costs right now. Right? This is old money they have that was given to them by their forefathers. This is why you see them in the biggest houses. Damn, $5 million get handed down to them from their great-great-grandfather, who was a hard-working man. No, he wasn't no damn hard-working man. He was a damn slave. He was an Israelite owner. You know, we gotta start calling ourselves who we are. All right, we ain't no damn slaves, man. Y'all the damn slaves. Y'all the ones who should be we should be riding on the horseback, and y'all should be right next to us, man. Now we got servants sitting on horses giving the orders out, man. Soon, coffee and spices were cultivated in addition to sugarcane, as these luxury items were in great demand back in Europe. By the 17th century, tobacco and ginger emerged as the principal crops, with the wealth amazed on the backs of the Taino and African slaves. And a lot of you damn Africans, you don't want to accept the Native Americans, man. You still going off and judging off skin color just like the white man taught you to judge off of. The Lord told you, hey, these curses would be upon our people for a sign. But you got a damn black man hating the Hispanics now. You got them over there shooting them up and damn in California now. Now they can't stand each other. Hey, that's that hatred for our brothers, man. That's Deuteronomy 28 and verse 54.
Mm-hmm.
Puerto Rico thrived. Spain looked anew at its colony in the Caribbean and decided that indeed it was a rich port, a good place to settle, farm, and grow wealthy. And that's the actual name of what Puerto Rico actually means. It means rich port, the port of riches. This is what the so-called white man thinks of you. He thinks your land and you are a port of riches. So they're going to settle in your land, farm, and grow wealth. They're going to give their kids old money from what your forefathers used to work for, and give it to their kids. Now you sitting at home wondering why they hate the so-called black man. Now you sitting at home wondering why am I in this position? The history right here in front of your face is right there in the Bible. They hate you because you're Israelites, man. They don't hate you because of your skin color. Give me that in Jeremiah 50 and verse 3.
All right. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 3. For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. In those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping. They shall go and seek the Lord their God.
All right. Hey, talk for a minute. I got to find my actual scripture I wanted.
So this is basically going into the gathering part of it, you know. Say in those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah, because the northern tribe or the northern kingdom, they were known as Israel, and the southern tribe or southern kingdom was known as Judah. So he's saying they shall come together out of the north, going and weeping. They shall go and seek the Lord their God. So we're gonna come out of this thing together, united, you know. No more you're going to see the things that you see on a constant. When you turn on the news, you know, what you see on in the movies where our people hating each other. We're going to come seek the Lord and we're going to come out this thing together. That's how it's designed, you know, when you actually think about it. Because it tells you that 12,000 of each tribe have to have a law sealed in their mind. So in order for the law to be sealed, we all got to be on one page. We all got to come seeking the law, repenting of our ways, of our wicked ways, coming back to the Lord in unity, together, one accord, one mindset, and He's gonna bring us out.
All right. Hey, so it was Jeremiah 30, the book of Jeremiah 50, I'm sorry, and verse 33, not 3.
Okay. It still went along with it though.
Yeah, it pretty much did, you know, and that's the spirit, man. Yeah. All praise for that, man. And that was a great breakdown, you know.
You got that, Yaku?
Yeah, I got
Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 33.
Jeremiah 50, verse 33. Thus said the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go.
Hey, the children of Israel, which will be the northern kingdom, and the children of Judah, which will be the southern kingdom, were oppressed together. That's what we're reading now. They were in the same fields, oppressed together, man. We worked in the same fields. We worked on the same lots. We built the same houses together. Hey, and guess what? We didn't dwell in them houses, man. And they said they refused to let us go. How many nations do you know that been in captivity for 400 years? How many nations you know that, hey, when they refer to them as people, they talk about the slaves were captured. No, they don't say the Israelites were captured. They say the slaves were. This is what the other nations think about you, man. They think about you as slaves. They don't think about you as the chosen people. They look at you as like Hamites.
God.
They look at you as if you're Japheth or something. You know?
Dang.
It's time for our people to wake up, man, and realize who they are. Realize the power that you have, and through keeping the commandments and believing in Yahweh Shah.
That's all you got to do.
You know, hey, and where is it written in the Bible where the children of Israel and the heathen will be in captivity together? So you Negroes who keep thinking, hey, the Native Americans are not the chosen people, hey man, you going off, man. And that's not the true gospel. You know, hey, where's that prophesied that the children of Israel and the Japhetic people or the Edomites were going to captivity together, and they will remain there until the end time? Where is that, man?
Right.
All right, give me the book of Genesis, chapter 41 and verse 52.
Genesis chapter 41, verse 52. And the name of the second called he Ephraim, for God hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction.
Right, and Ephraim, he was fruitful in the land of his affliction. I don't think we got into it, but in the book, in these books, it said they had lush vegetation over there in Puerto Rico. Really, because the land yielded them that, because guess what? That was a part of his blessing. Read that again, brother.
And the name of the second called Ephraim, Ephraim, for God hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction.
In the land of his affliction, he caused him to be fruitful. This is why you go look at a so-called Puerto Rican. They got 4 or 5 or 6 kids, man.
God.
Hey, they fruitful and they multiply. You know, that was a part of his blessing. Give me the book of Genesis chapter 49 and verse 22. Book of Genesis chapter 49 and verse 22.
All right. This is the book
Genesis
of Genesis.
chapter.
Oh, go ahead.
My bad, bro. Genesis chapter 49, verse 22. Joseph is a fruitful bow, even a fruitful bow by a well, whose branches run over the wall.
Whose branches run over the wall. Meaning, hey, he got abundance of kids, man. He got an abundance of fruitful works, man. Of fruit. Literally, he had an abundance of vegetation and kids. Go look at, they got different species in Puerto Rico that's not even anywhere else on the earth. It's nothing but lush vegetation over there because, hey, that was their blessing, man. You know?
Yep.
You know? So give me the book of, all right, Lamentations chapter 2 and verse 5. The book of Lamentations chapter 2 and verse 5. And the key topic is, so this is the part 2, right? And we fell off as a people. We fell off as a nation. We disobeyed the commandments of God and we fell off. So we're going into how we fell off, right? As far as the southern kingdom at first in part 1, the northern kingdom in part 2. In part 3, we're going to talk about the awakening and gathering up of Israel and Lord's will in part 4. And we go into the destruction of the so-called white man who put us into captivity. You know.
All right. This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 2, verse 5. The Lord was an enemy He hath swallowed up Israel.
He is what?
He hath swallowed up Israel.
The Lord swallowed us up, man. Because guess what? We decided we're gonna get the stiff neck, we're gonna get the big head, and we're gonna just disobey the God who created us, the God of the heaven and the earth, who formed us from the belly and knew us before he formed us. We're gonna go against him. Keep reading.
He hath swallowed us up, all her palaces. He have destroyed his stronghold, and have increased the daughter of Judah mourning and lamentation.
He increased mourning and lamentation, going into weeping, going into mourning, right? Every day you wake up sad. So-called black man, we wake up sad, mad. Hey, we don't know if we're gonna want. We might wake up happy one day out the month, and then the rest of the month you mad as hell. You know,
That's damn true.
hey, that's that lamentation that's upon us, man. The so-called black man, you see, even the ones who not awakening to the truth, they see the destruction that's going on of their people. They're just turning the blind eye.
Mm-hmm.
This is why we love smoking weed, right? We love getting drunk. We love going out to party, just to make up or to give me a good word. To what?
Try to escape reality.
Right, to escape reality. That's beautiful, brother. That's exactly what I was looking for. Escape reality. Because you could talk to some of our people, right? You go into the history of slavery. They don't want to hear that, man. They don't want to hear the true history or the things that has actually happened. They want to hear lies and vanity.
Mm-hmm.
They want to hear lies and deceit. They want to hear prophecies about them getting a damn new BMW. They don't want to hear prophecies about destruction of America. That's too much for them, man.
Dang.
They want you to prophesy and tell them that everything in their life is gonna be good when they living in hell, man. Right, keep reading.
In verse 6, it said, and he have violently taken away his tabernacle, as if it were of a garden.
And the so-called white man, he took you violently, man. He didn't come over here peacefully. Well, he came over here peacefully with a sword, but he took this land away violently. Keep reading.
He have destroyed his places of the assembly. The Lord have caused the solemn feast and Sabbath to be forgotten in Zion.
To be what?
To be forgotten in Zion.
Now we don't remember our solemn feast. We don't remember the Feast of Tabernacle. We don't remember the things that we did before we came over here. Now we remember every year that Christmas is on December 25th. And we remember every year that Valentine's Day is February 14th. Hey, we won't forget that.
No.
Hey, but guess what? Hey, even days they try to give you, you'll forget Martin Luther King Day.
Wow.
Hey, you'll forget, it's Black History Month. It's Martin Luther King Day. Malcolm X died on this day. Dang, I forgot about that, man. Hey, you don't even remember the stuff they try to give you, man. Keep reading.
And he had despised in the indignation of his anger the king and the priest. The Lord had cast off his altar. He had abhorred his sanctuary.
That's it on that, brother. Give me Lamentations 2 and verse 14. Jump to verse 14.
All right. Verse 14, it says, thy prophets have seen vain and foolish things for thee, and have not discovered thine iniquity, to turn away thy captivity, but have seen for thee false burdens and causes of banishment.
Right? The prophets, right? These are going into your black pastors, your black, ashy, filthy, and nasty pastors who are having sex with the women in the church, not keeping the commandments, teaching our people to be Negroes and African Americans. These are your prophets now, and they see in vain visions. But they're not the true prophets. They're false prophets and wolves. They're wolves in sheep's clothing. Right. Read that part again, brother. Read verse 14.
Chapter 2, verse 14. Thy prophets have seen vain and foolish things for thee, and they have not discovered thine iniquity.
Meaning they don't discover your iniquity, meaning they don't correct you in your sins. They don't tell you what you're not supposed to be doing in this world. They just tell you believe in Jesus and then pray over your pork and you're good.
Damn.
They tell you to pray before your Christmas Day meal or your Thanksgiving Day meal and you're good. Now you're blessed in the Lord. Now you're on fire. Now you're in the spirit. You know, but actually, you in the spirit for the devil, man. You in the spirit for a Baal, man. You in the spirit for the so-called Edomites. You know, keep reading.
All right. They have not discovered thine iniquities to turn away thy captivity, but have seen for thee false burdens and causes of banishment.
Hey, and to turn away captivity, you got to keep the commandments. Keep reading.
Verse 15, all that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth?
So they're looking at us now like, hey, are these the chosen people? You go tell another nation, hey, you the God's chosen people, and you're an actual Israelite according to the Bible. They might look at you and laugh, man. You might be the laughing stock of your job right now. You know, they might think you crazy. They say you need mental health. They say you need you need to go back and go to school, learn the true knowledge. Hey, come visit my church now. You know, this is how deceitful they are, man. You telling them you God's chosen people, now they tell you to come visit their church. Or I think you should listen to this guy right here.
Wow.
Because ultimately, they trying to take you out this truth. Or they might go tell you, hey, just go read the book of Acts. Just go read the book of Matthew. Start off from Matthew, man. Right. You don't have to read the New Testament no more. You know. Dang. Verse 6, go read it, verse 16 real quick.
All right. It says, all thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly, this is the day that we look for. We have found, we have seen it.
So, hey, the heathen, they've been looking for this thing, man. This is why you look at all these nations and they hate the so-called black man. Every single nation on this earth hate the blacks and Hispanics, man. They think you savages. They think you good for nothing. They think you're lazy. They don't think you work for anything. Hey, you built this whole country, man. You built up China, man. You built up Russia. You built up all these different lands, and guess what? Now you're lazy. Now you haven't done nothing. Damn. You're good for nothing. You've invented damn near 85% of the damn things on this earth. Now y'all really don't contribute to this earth. The earth will be a better place without you guys. You know, this is how they feel about us, man. You're not wanted here, man. That's why the Lord told you to gather yourselves together, O nation not desired, in Zephaniah 2 and verse 1. Because you're not wanted here. You a damn so-called black man getting out with a suit and tie, and they locking their doors at Walmart, man, when they see you get out the car. Man. You know? You dressing like them, acting like them, talking like them, and they still locking their damn doors. You know? You love it. You might get out the car with a so-called white woman. Hey, guess what? You need to leave her, man. You know, because we in the times of rebuilding. But hey, guess what? They still lock their doors. Because they don't like you, man. They fear you. They think
they're gonna think you kidnapped them.
Right. They're gonna think you kidnapped them, you know. So now that's gonna kick me into a couple of videos just to show our people that hey, the so-called natives, they living just like you in the ghettos, man. Hey, Google the word ghetto. Google the word ghetto. It literally means hey, where the Jews dwell. You know, showing you that you're the actual Israelites. And we're proving that the Northern Kingdom are the actual Israelites tonight, man. You know. Let me see real quick. I'm gonna bring out this real quick before I hop into that. So this is from the book of Indian slavery. Okay, and it says, I'm gonna read right here what it says in writing of Florida, he declared. I'll start off in the beginning.
Blow that up.
All right. Let me see. Yeah, I ain't gonna be able to blow it up.
Oh, okay.
You know, let's see. I'm gonna just read it. It says the general feeling regarding the relations of the Indians to the Spaniards is well expressed by Hernando del Elefante Fontano, we'll just call him Fontano, who was at Mendez in Florida as interpreter. In writing of Florida, he declared it his belief that Indians can never be made submissive and become Christians. Because we just read that they would come and try to Christianize you. They would come with their philosophies and their doctrines, come with peace, so-called peace, right? With you throwing away everything that you believe in. And if you don't, guess what? They'll kill you. So he advocated that all be taken, placed on ships, and scattered throughout the various islands and even the Spanish Main, where they might be sold as His Majesty sells his vessels to the Grandes in Spain. So you so-called blacks, you think you're the only people that went into slavery on slave ships, man. Your brothers, the so-called natives, they went into slavery on slave ships.
Oh.
They went to Europe. They went to Russia. They went to Portugal. They went to what they call Canada, you know. They went to all these different places on slave ships, just like you. Just like it says in Deuteronomy 28 and verse 46, these curses gonna be upon us for a sign, you know. But can y'all still see my screen?
Nah, you took it off.
All right. So it's gonna kick me into a quick video, just going into how they actually live, what they call on the reservation. Because some of our people think that Native Americans they just got it, they got it good, man. They got reparations. They actually getting the money. You know, hey, they living bad up there, man. But we're gonna prove that. You know.
Reservation in South Dakota is the epicenter of a crisis.
Can y'all hear that?
Yeah, see if you can turn it up some more.
That's all I could do.
Despite the alcoholism that is endemic here, the Oglala Sioux tribe has launched an unprecedented legal battle. It is seeking $500 million in damages from some of the world's largest beer brewing companies, as well as from liquor sellers in the town of White Clay, Nebraska, just across the border.
The Oglala Sioux tribe brought this lawsuit in hope that it would send a message out. Don't prey on our people because of their...
Hey, you kind of look at this flag right here, man. You know, the so-called natives, they don't even know why they wear fringes anymore. You see that border of blue right there on their flag?
Wow.
You know, they don't even know why they have that no more. You know, and that's in the Bible. That's in Numbers 15 and verse 38.
Good eye.
White Clay, Nebraska, population 12, is less than 250 feet from the Pine Ridge Reservation, where it is not only illegal to possess or transport alcohol, but illegal even to have traces of it in your system. The tribe's lawsuit alleges that the defendants supply alcohol in a quantity far too large in an area where there is no place for it to be legally consumed. In 2010, its 4 liquor stores sold nearly 5 million cans of beer, nearly all thought to have been consumed by Pine Ridge residents. 40,000 people live on the vast reservation. Alcoholism is said to impact 85% of all families.
So it says 40,000 people are living on this particular reservation. And alcoholism is affecting 85% of their homes, meaning they're drugged out. They're drunkards because they're going through oppression. Really. Now they need to repent from that. But ultimately they going through it. And they're drinking, they're trying to drink themselves out of it, man.
You know, going through everything we going through.
Right.
From having a damn Cadillac out in the front to the damn Nike shoe in the back. You know what I'm saying? Same things that we go through, man. Wow.
And that was a good eye, brother.
Isolated with few jobs and staggering unemployment, Pine Ridge is one of America's poorest patches, and its problems are handed down from generation to generation.
set of problems handed down from generation to generation, you know, because these are the curses that are upon us.
My kids every one of my kids are yellow streets, and that's how two of my boys are in jail, and then I have one daughter that drinks a lot too. She's one that left her kids with me. She drinks too much.
1 in 4 children born on Pine Ridge has fetal alcohol syndrome. The newly built local jail here runs near capacity all the time.
Over 90% of my inmates are incarcerated for a charge that is related stemming from an incident involving alcohol consumption.
Some have argued that shutting down White Clay will only cause buyers to drive further down the road.
We will still find a way to go get what we need.
While closing off easy access to alcohol will only make it harder to get. If the lawsuit is successful, the tribe plans to use the money to build a treatment center and stimulate economic development.
The crisis mode is this. The addiction is very strong and it has a historical background to it.
Many at Pine Ridge are hoping that victory in the courts could help break the cycle of poverty and addiction more than a century in the making.
And it's our people, man. They up there going through it, you know, and our people are steadily saying, hey, these are not the real people. Some of our people actually say that, man. But the Lord said, hey, these curses would be upon us for a sign. And where are your Native American presidents, man? Didn't they conquer this? Didn't they have this land first? Where are the Native American rulers, man? Because guess what? They got conquered. Some of them have the same last names we have. Right? I'm going to show you a picture real quick. Can y'all still see my screen? Let me see. No, never mind. All right, I'm going to show a picture real quick. So y'all see this picture, brother?
Yeah.
So let's see. You see this picture right here when I'm circling with my mouse. A lot of our people have seen this picture, you know. Now these are auction blocks. I want you to take a look real quick. Look at the hair of the people on the auction blocks. You know, so because some of our people say, well, only, you know, Negroes with afros, you know, these are our people. Look at the hair. These are so-called Native Americans being sold on auction blocks. Just like this lady right here was probably about to get up next to get ready to sell her baby.
Hey.
You know, that's going into the Willie Lynch letter, man. I'm going to read that real quick in the Willie Lynch letter. All right. In the Willie Lynch letter, it tells you, it says how they would divide us as people. It says, on top of my list is age, but there's only because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. There is intelligence, size, sex, size of plantation, and status on plantations, attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley, on the hill, east, west, or north. And you got our people still, they fighting over east side, west side, north side, Jefferson Street, Thomas Edison Street, MLK Street. Yeah, hey, they fighting over street names, man. You know. Then it says have fine hair, coarse hair, or is tall or short. So they literally divided you. You know, hey, if these have fine hair, make them go against each other. If these have coarse hair, make them go against each other. Now you got the so-called black man saying that everybody, only people with an afro are the chosen people, because Christ had woolly hair. Knowing that the Northern Kingdom mixed with these other nations, you know, and some of their features got distorted, you know. But this picture right here is showing us the so-called natives being sold into captivity at the same time as the so-called blacks sold into captivity, you know. I'm gonna get another quick video real quick. It's showing you that they're going into the same things as we going through, man. You know.
So let's say you have to read an incredibly long email from your boss that you have to finish before the big meeting. Traditional drum circles like this strike a powerful heartbeat throughout Indian country. But on some reservations, Native youth are adopting a different rhythm.
Coming up a young G, another Native kid, not giving a talking about the crazy I did. I ain't gonna lie, I come from a broken home. I'm a straight rider, leave you with a broken doom, taking killer hits to the foot.
This is the Pine Ridge Sioux Reservation, South Dakota, one of the poorest places in the country, and it's increasingly plagued by gangs who imitate urban groups like the Crips and Bloods.
I'm 33rd Northside Trade Gangsta Crip, you know?
Northside 3rd, you know. We just read in the Willie Lynch letter, hey, they would rep the West, East, and South. They would divide them, and guess what? The so-called slaves, they would have nothing better to do but to rep. Oh, okay, I'm from the West Side. Are you from over there? Nah, we don't mess with you guys over there. Y'all don't work hard enough for the so-called white man. You know, y'all don't do enough for the so-called Edomites, man. And we rep the Moabites over here, you know.
Damn.
This is our people, man. You know, same thing that's going on in our neighborhoods, the same thing that's going on in their neighborhoods. These curses would be upon us for a sign. You know, showing you who the Israelites are, showing you they have a lack of knowledge. They don't know who they are anymore. They don't know they're Israelites. They don't know that all the history that has ever been taught is pointing to them as being the Israelites. Where's the history on the so-called Jewish man being the Israelites? Other than him trying not to eat pork. Trying not to eat pork.
33rd, you know?
24-year-old Richard Wilson has already carried 5 of his fellow gang members to the grave because of drugs, suicide, and gang violence.
Yeah, this is where our Lakota people came from, you know, just right around there. I've been up on a reservation all my life, you know? A lot of people say it's like trash, you know? But to me, it's just like, you know, living in a ghetto, you know. I mean, it's just like living in the city, you know. People fighting each other, shooting each other, you know. Someone's getting beat up every other night.
And he made that sound regular, man.
Mm-hmm.
You so-called Black and Hispanic and Native American, hey, that's not regular. Beating up on your brother, joining gangs, killing your own people, that's not regular, man. That's abnormal. That's not normal. The so-called white man has put it in your mind to hate your own brother, to hate your own people, to kill your own people, and think that that's cool. We have been numbed over here with our brother getting killed, man.
Let me
I
get
remember when I was in the world, bro. I would hear about somebody getting killed every week and be like, "Oh man, he got too," and then we go on about our life.
Dang.
Like it was normal.
Let me get a precept right quick.
Go ahead, brother.
It's Deuteronomy 28:37. It says, "And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee." An astonishment. What the brother bringing out right now? This is an astonishment for somebody to say that this is normal. For you to be killing your people and loving to live in poverty, loving to be on the bottom of society and trying to take it and twist it around and make it sound good. That's an astonishment. That's foolish as hell. But that's a curse put on our people for being disobedient to the Most High God. But you got it, bro.
All right, I'm gonna keep playing the video.
Brother, I just turned 24, man, so this is me and my brother.
He and his 18-year-old half-brother, Richard Lame, are 2 of an estimated 5,000 youths involved with gangs on the Pine Ridge Reservation. That's 1 of every 10 people.
Yeah, we had the Wild Boys, TBZ, we had Trays, we had Nomads, A-Town, Eastern Side, you know, Indian Mafia, Aimster Gangsters. You know, I could go on. I mean,
this is John Musso. He served as a local police officer for 14 years before becoming chair of the Tribal Judiciary Committee. He says that the number of gangs proliferated in the 1990s when money for tribal law enforcement dropped.
Around the same time with a damn wicked rap music, you know, started teaching about gangs and killing our own people.
Recently, violence is increasing.
In recent years, there's been some homicides, which is kind of just don't happen in small communities. So assaults against police officers, against people that's not gang related, it continued to rise, and a lot of intimidation. So it started affecting the whole public.
Many native gangs are homegrown, with few, if any, ties to the large urban gangs they take their names and style from.
So we got our gang members, they burn their arms, so like branding, so they burn them. The difference between our gangs and big city gangs are, in the cities, they're territorial. You know, they claim a neighborhood, and when they sell drugs, it's for profit for the gangs, or one or two people profit. They show a large sum of money. It's not like that here, because we're an impoverished people, impoverished land. So it's more, they're fighting over scraps. They're not fighting over money.
I got at least.
Give me the book of Deuteronomy 28 and verse 54. But we got to show our people, hey, these are the same curses that are upon the Israelites, man. So these are the Israelites that you're looking at, man. These are God's chosen people, you know.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
So his eye is evil towards his brother, you know. The man, he just said they're not fighting over money or anything. They're just fighting over damn territory. They don't even have anything over there. They're just fighting over there, man, because they hate their brother, man. These are the curses that are plaguing their mind because they don't keep the commandments. These are the curses that are upon our people to show the sign of who the Israelites are, you know. Can you read?
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
And it said earlier, 85% of these households are affected by alcoholism. A lot of these parents, they're not even at home, man. They're not even in their right frame of mind to teach their kids the right way. Hey, guess what? They get left. The dads leave their home just like the so-called dads for black people leave their home, you know. They're not teaching the laws of God. They're not coming into the truth. But guess what? They loving the so-called Edomites, man. So-called white man. You know.
30.
And these are our soldiers, man. These are the people, you know, you might read about going to different wars, you know, in the Bible, reading about the different wars that we fought. These are our soldiers, man.
Yeah.
And guess what? They just fighting each other. They're not uplifting their own people. They're not uplifting the nation. They bringing down the nation by going against their own people and fighting and killing over what the so-called white man told you to fight about.
Right. Esau couldn't even knock him off. They tricked us into fighting.
Right. With the Buffalo Soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I'm gonna show a couple of more. Matter of fact, I'm gonna jump into this article real quick, and this will probably end the class. Can y'all still see my screen? No, you can't. What about now?
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going back into another article. It says 800 ancient stones with Hebrew writing in Puerto Rico authenticated with a question mark, you know. So this was a Northern Kingdom brother who found some artifacts about his people. So let's see if it's legit or if it's not. Right. And keep in mind that when the Northern Kingdom, which would be the Native Americans and Hispanics, they left the captivity of Assyria to come to a new country, a new land, which no mankind dwelt, to keep their own statues in the land. You know, keep that in mind. So if they kept their own statues in their land, they would have different things, different clues going into them keeping the statues, or different writings, different artifacts or different things that they could find that would lead up into showing that these are the actual true Jews or the real Israelites. You had something to say, brother?
Yeah, I was going to bring out one precept before you went to that one on the next video.
Go ahead, King.
All right. This is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. Meaning going against the treaties and writing treaties up, going against the Native American sacred lands, and taking their resources and kicking them back into the reservations like they did. Those are decrees they signed up. It says to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may be robbed, and that they may rob the fatherless. So they made our people, the Native American women, widows, and they make them as prey, and they rob the fatherless of our brothers and sisters there, in those reservations.
Right. That's right. Heavy precept, brother. We'll get into this article. It's going into the archaeology that they found over there in Puerto Rico. What they call then the New World. Even now, it's called the New World. It says a remnant of ancient stones, 20 of 800, made its way half across the world, solving a 3,500-year-old mystery. What did these stones whisper about the pre-Columbian indigenous people of the island of Puerto Rico? After rigorous academic testing, anthropologists, historians, academics, and millions of Puerto Ricans, finally, scientific evidence that reveals the language of stones. Can you finish reading this, brother, right here?
Yes, growing up in the mountains of Puerto Rico, my grandfather told me about some very unique stones which were part of an ancient Taino Indian history. These are rare stones wherein the care of one of our greatest principal chiefs. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Who, when Columbus stumbled across our Taino people in 1492, was the principal chief of my home island of Barican, Puerto Rico. Knowledge of these stones first came to light when a very sick Taino woman who had tried everything from indigenous herbal remedies to ceremonies lay on her deathbed, compelled to tell a secret her family had carried for generations. She sent runners to find someone in the church who would listen. All right. Why she chose the church, we'll never know. But a monk named Jose Maria Nazaria, why counsel came to her bedside. What this elder revealed to this monk changed the historical narrative of our precious island. There is a tiny Baholo thatched roof home. The monk interceded for the old woman's healing. Then she told him of the family secret, a secret that went back to the time of the Kaki, that the principal chief of the Borican, the Taino Indian, named for Puerto Rico, which means the house of the great and valiant Lord. Her secret revealed were to find a hidden stash of stones, figurines inscribed with strange symbols and carvings of an ancient people that some call the Habaro, who lived in the mountains of the islands and still have descendants who call themselves by this name to this day. Nazario had been educated at the University of Salamanca. His studies had included ancient languages and he was amazed at what he saw after comparing the writing on the stones to others from around the world. He came to his conclusion the writing was a form of ancient Hebrew. because of his religious background, that this fueled the possibility that a remnant of the lost tribes of Israel has settled on this island. In 1893, Nazaro wrote a short article titled Escritura Origin, or man, the Carib Aboriginal writing in the Carib, in which he explained his interpretations of these carvings. After a thorough analysis of the stones and their inscriptions, he dismissed an Arawak Taino language or origin, and by 1897 he concluded that the writings were more reminiscent of ancient Hebrew.
So these writings were more reminiscent of ancient Hebrew. The Hebrew is what the Israelites spoke. That was the language that they spoke. Now, like I said, keep in mind that these people were Israelites who spoke that language, and they came over here. So just like you have ancient writings and all over the earth, in Greek and in Chinese and Japanese, you had Hebrew writing over here, which would be of our people. Keep reading.
All right. Comparing this discovery with the spoken Taino language of this day, Nazario discerned words in the Taino Arawak language that were Semitic in origin and pronunciation. One example.
Semitic, meaning, they came from Shem. They were Semitic people. A lot of times they like to say of course, the Jewish people, they are Semitic, but they are not the Israelites. They do come from Shem, but they are not the Israelites. They come from Esau. They would be the Edomites.
That's right.
Right. They would be from the tribe of Amalek. Amalek was the grandson of Esau. Keep reading.
One example is the Taino name for the supreme spirit of spirits, Yah. By comparison, the God of the monotheistic Hebrew culture is known by the abbreviated form of his sacred name, Yah.
So, just like it say in the Bible, his name is Yah. So they called him Yahya. That was a abbreviation for his name, Yahweh. But they call him Yah. But these are so-called Puerto Ricans who had encrypted carvings and different tablets and rocks, showing you, they were over here keeping the customs, showing you they knew the Hebrew language, showing you that when the Spaniards came over here and taught them Spanish, they knew Hebrew prior to that. Just like we know English over here as African Americans. Before English, we knew Hebrew. But they came over here and wiped away everything that you once stood for, your name, your nationality, your heritage, right? Everything that you've done as a people, they wiped it away. And they gave you their philosophies, their doctrines, their language, and made you one with their people, to ultimately to wipe away your heritage. Give me the book of Psalms chapter 83 real quick. Book of Psalms chapter 83, where it says they would conspire together real quick.
All right. The book of Psalms chapter 83 verse, you want to start at 1?
Give me verse 3. Well, give me verse 2.
Right. Psalms chapter 83 verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
So they that hate thee, they lifted up their head. Now they think they're better than you. Now they think that they're the cream of the crop, and they the salt of the earth. When really, it's the so-called Negroes, the ones who's acting ignorant now. They the salt of the earth. They the ones who are chosen people. Now, the heathen, they lifted up their head now. Now they think they're better than you. Now they walk with their head high, taught you their language, right? Trying to what they call speaking better than you. Now you think of yourself as less 3/5 of a man. Now you think that you're nothing. Now you think your people are slaves. Now you just happy to be here in America, to be able to have a house and a car, and to love the so-called white man. You just happy that these other nations have came and lifted up their head against you. That's our people. Keep reading.
Verse 4. Nah, I start 3 again. Nah, yeah.
Give me 3.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
So they have taken crafty counsel, meaning they got together. All these nations have gotten together and have a crafty council, meaning a angry gathering or meeting. Keep reading.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
So that the name of Israel, right, the Israelites, be no more in remembrance. Now you call yourself Puerto Rican. Now you call yourself Mexican. Now you call yourself a Honduran. Now you say you're a Dominican. And you Negroes, you call yourself African American.
Verse 5, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
So these nations, they are confederate against you. And you can read from verse 6 on down, showing you these nations, they came against you to scatter you, to make your name no more in remembrance, to make you feel like that you're nothing on this earth, to actually do away with the words of the Lord, to do away with who you are as a people. Now you have no clue as to who you are unless you do a diligent search to find out true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and the correct history as to who you are.
That's right.
Right. So I'm gonna read this article. I'm gonna keep reading this article. Modern day Taino people say that Kakoi Aguimbana kept this collection of inscribed stones safeguarded on the islands and then buried them, fearing that the Spanish conquistadors might find them. They remained hidden in the earth for over 400 years. Don't that number sound familiar? Don't that sound pretty familiar? Until the dying Taino elder Juan Morales told Nazario about the stones and where to find them. It was well known on the island that Juan Morales was the last descendant of principal chief Abagana. Her story is still told among the mountain people in the interior of the island who still identify as Hibarano, the word that Taino means people of the mountain, but which bear a strange resemblance to the word Hebrew. During the 19th and 20th century, Amaguana's library had been exhibited to the public several times and examined by expert scholars of high reputation who speculated that the writing was a form of Hebrew. So not only did this so-called Northern Kingdom brother or so-called Native American find these different rocks or ancient writings, right? They had other people to come and verify it. It says many scholars agreed that these could not be forgery. Some even theorized that the writings predated the Mayan and Inca writing system. Right? The Mayan and Incas, these are the so-called Mexicans, these are the Hondurans, these are the people who you would say live in Mexico now. In 2012, interest gained traction. By 2019, it had piqued global curiosity in the Middle East. Because guess what? Those people over there claiming to be Israelites, they're not the real Jews. These are heathen. These are Gentiles. It said in the scriptures, the heathen, they would the land would be trodden down with Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. These are the heathen over there in our land claiming to be the Jews. They have committed identity theft. Where's the proof that's showing that they're the Israelites? Now that you come into the truth, you've seen way more proof showing that you're the real Jews versus them. You could talk to the so-called Edomites around here, and they have not heard any proof showing that they're the real Jews. They just say they're keeping the customs, which they're not even keeping the real true customs, right? But I'm gonna keep reading. New tests were done using spectrometric and X-ray diffraction in Israel. The fantastic story came to the attention of the Zinman Institute of Archaeology at the University of Haifa. Hey, read the rest of that, brother. Get some water.
All right. At the University of Haifa, Dr. Iris Gromana Yaroslavsky did molecular analysis on 20 of these stones. The doctor's results, based on the patina revealed that these rocks were not forgeries. The results verified what many scholars had theorized, that the results verified what many scholars had theorized. This added to mounting evidence about the origin of the writings.
All right. So we're gonna read this last little article. This is a last little paragraph right here, and then we'll probably take it into a part 3.
All right. Said the stones are inscribed in a language script previously unknown to linguistics, with the expertise in Phoenician and what? Well, looks like the brother exited out. But I guess we can go ahead and let me see if the brother will make it back on first.
Shalom, brother.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I dropped my my mouse. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pick back up on that in a part 3. But let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 46 real quick. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 46.
All right. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So these curses would be upon us for a sign and a wonder, and upon our seed forever. Right? When you look at these curses, then you can be able to identify as to who we are as a people. That's why we can look at these curses and our spirit bears witness. Just like the so-called natives, their spirit bears witness. So-called Hispanics, their spirit bears witness. The Edomites don't bear witness with being sold into slavery on cargo slave ships. Right? The Moabites, they don't bear witness with their sons and daughters be sold into another people, and they would have no mind in their hand. Right? The Amalekites, right? The so-called Amalek, the so-called Jewish people, right? Their spirit don't bear witness with being sold into slavery on slave ships. Their spirit bears witness with purchasing the slave ships, right? Purchasing the slave ships and funding the slave trade. That's what their spirit bears witness to. All right. They don't bear witness with these curses. They don't bear witness with all of our people being last hired, first fired, being cursed in the city, cursed in the field, their fathers leaving the household. They don't bear witness with over 80% of our households being single parent households. They don't bear witness with the women ruling over them and the children being monsters, man. you know. So these curses, they bear witness with the Israelites. They bear witness with God's chosen people. They bear witness with true facts and knowledge, showing you who the real people are. Not pretending who might be the real people, or having a fairy tale of who are the real people. Guess what? They in the chosen land, so-called keeping the commandments, so-called building temples, and the world is in chaos. It said when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And that's why the people are mourning right now. Because you got the fake Jews over there in our land. And they need to get the hell up out of our land. And guess who's going to put us back there? The Most High God through his son, you know?
That's right.
So with that, you know, we say shalom. Lord's will, you were edified. Lord's will, you learned a little bit more about the Northern Kingdom. And Lord's will, hey, you accept our brothers and our sisters who we would call in the New Testament so-called Gentiles, you know, accept them back into our nationality, back into our heritage, back into us as a people, so we can come together, gather together, keep these commandments, and be liberated off this out of this land, you know.
That's right.
So I'm Brother Benaiah.
I'm Brother Ananias.
And we give all praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. And with that, we say shalom.
Shalom.